Hi, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with Elton
Hey,
Brewington.
Trina.
We are recording for Brightside Global Trade TV. These will be available on your channels that you subscribe with Brightside Global Trade TV. Welcome, Trina. Trina Johnson is a cutting edge. She's very modest, but she is a powerhouse. She has a retail store in Manhattan, and she has a growing plant in Colorado. And she is a leader because she's inspiring women entrepreneurs to come to her store. And we're trying to build it as a space for authors, and we can sit down and talk. And she's doing something that's cutting edge. I'm told that Canada and the rest of the world gets it, but the US is still slow to get it. So you're going to hear something about the future. So Trina, tell us about you and tell us what you do.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Elton. Really nice to be here again. I always meet so many interesting people. Connections and partnerships are everything these days, but we started a CBD company or certified organic farm in 2016 in Boulder, Colorado, and just progressed from there. We created a genetics program for high ratio CBD seeds and a processing lab where we created a retail line. People are coming to CBD for sleep and pain and energy and mood and stress. It's just so interesting, every different ways it's seeing the research around how it's interacting with us and our nervous system and just the mood in general and balance. So it's a really fun way to spend my time. And we've always had a big presence online. That was my background, but we just opened our first flagship store in Manhattan, New York. New York just passed the most progressive cannabis laws, and we figured there was no other place that needed CBD more. So it's just been so fun interacting with everyone and making these bigger connections in ways in New York that maybe you just won't make in Colorado.
Well, thank you. We're going to hear more from her as well. So thank you for that. And any questions? Okay, we'll come back with questions. My next speaker is Regan. Can we see you, Regan? Regan? Yeah.
Yes, I am here, but I had no intentions that I would be live. But thank you.
Yeah. Well, tell us about you and tell us what you do. Yeah.
Okay. I am in the insurance industry. I have a company called Seniors in Need Programs, where I specialize in helping seniors when it comes to transitioning from corporate to retirement. But I also, I have other products that I have to help people. I'm just in the business of helping people save money in any area that I have available with them, with dental, just in the insurance arena altogether, even with helping people take care of funerals and that kind of thing when they normally would have a GoFundMe account. I know everyone has seen that before, where people don't have any funds or they're lacking any funds to, bury their loved ones. I actually have a plan that I specialize in helping take care of that, so people won't lose their dignity or how it goes when you grieving a loved one. The last thing you want to be grieving is over how I'm going to take care of their final expenses. So that's what I do. So excited about it. Love what I do. Love helping people. And that's what we're here to do, is just be a servant to people.
Awesome. That's awesome. And Reginald is coming up at 2 with, he's actually got money to help you get. So tell us about the business financing and also about the credit repair. And then I will thank you. Dina is here as well, and I will have her present her book as well. So go ahead, Reginald.
Hi, thank you, Elton and Elizabeth, for the opportunity to be on your broadcast today. I'm Reginald Lyerly, and I specialize in personal credit coaching, business lines of credit, and business capital. Later today, I will share in more detail how I help people in more specific ways, and how I can help people build their personal credit and help businesses get the capital they need in order to fuel their businesses to create a better outcome. Thank you.
And thank you for your service. He was a sergeant, staff sergeant with the US Army and now retired, and still going strong, helping everyone, fought in the Afghanistan war. And we are doing a segment later with Dina's book, and we have people from the New Haven University coming to talk about Ukraine, and we're looking forward to your commentary with that as well. So thank you for sharing. And Lisa, and then I'm going to bring Dina as my sponsor. And thank you, Reginald, also for sponsoring. Lisa, can we see you?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
just
Yay.
listening in the background.
Okay, so let me see if I can just add you to the spotlight. I'm not going to stop the recording right now. We'll just keep going. So go ahead. Tell us about moringa and the gummies, and they're delicious, everyone. And they're going to be in Whole Foods very soon.
Yeah, all right. So I'm Lisa Curtis. I'm the founder and CEO of Cooley Cooley, and we make some of the products that you see behind me. So how many of you have heard of moringa before? Just show of hands. Yes, no. Couple people, maybe a couple people not. We got some more hands. All right. So moringa is one of the most nutritious plants in the world. It's actually this tree that grows all over the tropics and has leaves, look like the leaves you can kind of see right there. And it has packed with protein, calcium, iron, vitamins. Sunita, as you probably know, it's used a lot in Ayurvedic medicine. I first started working with moringa when I was in the Peace Corps about a decade ago, and started working with some women in my village, Niger and West Africa, to help them grow more moringa and use more of it locally. And the thing they really wanted from me was a way to sell it in the US. So upon returning to the US, I started Cooley Cooley, not really knowing what I was getting into. But we now sell a whole line of moringa powders and snacks in about 11,000 stores across the US. So you can find our products everywhere from Whole Foods to even places like Walmart, Costco, and CVS. And in doing so, we've been able to support about 3,000 farmers and put more than $5 million directly into the hands of small farmers, prioritizing women and African farmers as well. So it's a really cool product. If you haven't tried it, it tastes kind of like matcha, and it gives you a lot of caffeine-free energy. So a lot of people who have it say that like just makes them feel more vibrant.
Yeah, and anything that's going to save you from going to the ER or the hospital, and anything that's going to help you in the long run, is always a good thing. And as I say before, every time you come on our Brightside show, we're giving you very cutting edge information. But please consult your doctor for anything. Whatever you hear on the show is great, and it's good for you, and you're taking it at your own risk. So thank you so much for that. And we're doing great on time. So my next, let me see if I can get Dina on. Dina, are you on? Can we see you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So Dina is our sponsor, and we've let me see. There we go. And we met Dina earlier this month, and her book is really important because we're living in crazy times, as everybody knows. And this is this amazing book. It's called Nirmina's Chance, and I want to just make sure that I say it properly. She's nominated for the Pushcart Prize, Best Small Fictions, and The Millions. Dina Greenberg's poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction have appeared widely in such journals as Bellevue, Literary Review, Pembroke Magazine, Split Rock Review, Tamoma Literary Review, Barley South, and the Wilderness House Literary Review. Dina earned an MFA in fiction from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, where she served as managing editor for the Literary Journal of Chappaqua. She teaches creative writing at the Cameroon Art Museum and provides one-on-one writing coaching for victims of trauma. Her work leading creative writing workshops for combat veterans resulted in writing Nermina's Chance, her debut novel. And we've read it, and we have a number of reviewers in our group, and the book, we've been passing it around and everybody's been reading it. And this afternoon, if you can come back at 4:30 or watch on demand, you will meet some of the people that have reviewed the book and read the book that we've shared with. And everyone cannot stop reading this book. The characters are really powerful. And if you are a woman and you want strength, she has definitely confronted really extraordinary circumstances. It is a fiction novel, and I'm gonna not take away the thunder. So over to you, Dina. Tell us about the book, and later this afternoon and all through the day, actually, as long as she's here, we're going to be promoting this book. So go ahead.
Thank you. I want to just thank you all for taking part today, and especially I want to thank Brightside for promoting the novel. So I won't spend a whole lot of time other than to say that I had no idea that in 2022, this novel would be so timely. Very sadly, my book is about the war that took place in the Balkans from 1992 through 1995. It took 15 years for me to complete the research and to actually get the book published this past October. And now it just saddens me to see the same sort of conflict taking place in Ukraine. And it's just, I believe, sadly, kind of a perpetual scenario that we will all be carrying forward. So I want to make sure that I say how important it is for us to be engaged, and even though it's difficult to turn the news on every night, it's really important for us to remain engaged and to understand what's happening in other parts of the world.
So tell us about the book. Tell us, it's a fiction novel. I really wanted to see it in a movie format. We've got some TV networks that I've actually approached to tell them about the book. So yeah, tell us about, because we love the characters, and yeah, so tell us a little bit about the characters or anything that you want to share.
Yeah, so the protagonist of the book, her name is Nermina Beganovich, and Nermina is a second-year medical student in Sarajevo when the book opens, and she lives in a very upper middle class family. Her parents are both doctors. Her brother is a financial analyst. They live in Sarajevo. They actually live in a suburb of Sarajevo, Dobrinja, which was brand new during the Olympics in 1984. So, a sparkling new city, lots and lots of opportunity. This was during the time when Yugoslavia just began to break apart, and first Croatia broke off, and then Bosnia broke off, and all of these smaller entities were asserting their independence. And the family knew, Nermina's father knew that war was coming. And of course, this creates unrest, and everything starts there. And then in my book, I follow Nermina as she escapes to the United States, and as she begins a new life, like so many refugees. So the focus is really on Nermina and how she goes forward and how she creates, I don't want to give too much away, but how she creates a family after having lost everyone that is near and dear to her.
Fabulous. I love it. I love it. And you should get this book for sure. And if you're watching online and you do purchase this book, especially if you have a book club and you want to read together, then make sure you snap a picture and put it in the comments so we know you're paying attention. And then we will give you 2 tickets to our next show and a chance to win. Every month we give away prizes. So you will get a chance for the drawing. So that's awesome. So we have time. This is great. Normally we never have time. So this is awesome. So why don't we do a quick roundtable? I'll put a man, Elton, to pose a question, and then we'll just go around and we'll talk about it and see how that goes.
Well, with that, the entire audience?
Yes, entire audience.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Sunita. She gave an opening analog. Sunita, about her Ayurvedic program. We're so excited about your product line, Sunita, because we're living in such a time when people are bound and actually compelled to consider alternatives for medical treatment. I mean, a lot of people have a problem with the typical pharmaceutical drugs out there, and they would like to consider options, especially things that are not so harsh or so, how can I put it, abusive to our bodies. Because the whole idea about your body is that you plan to keep it, and keep it operating well. I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, and taking this drug or that drug, and doctors have always prescribed certain drugs to us, and but now we're becoming very, very careful, and which is an amazing time. It's an amazing thing where we start to really think about what you put in your body and what impact and long-term, short-term, and that kind of thing. So you must be so excited about this time that people are asking you now. Where's the doctor? Where's the doctor? Where's Sunita? Where's Sunita?
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that a little bit, if you will.
That title really grabs you. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the doctor won't see you now. So yeah, tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the title came because what's happening in the UK over the last few years, we have a different system to you. We have the National Health Service, and this is something that we all pay into monthly so that everyone has the opportunity to have medical health should they need it. However, because of the last couple of years and everything that's going on, the lag time between a patient being able to see a GP now is just getting longer and longer. So the title really was to represent that actually, isn't it about time you start to think about what you can do for yourself instead of what can you do in those 8 weeks, 12 weeks before you get an appointment? Rather than waiting for this wonderful person to fix you. Actually, there's many things that you can do yourself, and that's what's wonderful about Ayurveda as a holistic health system. It's a 360-degree approach, and often many of the ailments that we experience are due to poor diet or lifestyle issues. So it's certainly at no point in the book am I saying, if you've broken your leg, change your diet. I'm certainly not saying that. But what I am saying is that there's many ways to stay healthy while, and I think in America you're seeing it as well. There are the systems are getting a reboot, so that's the tagline, is staying healthy while the medical system is rebooted, because actually, our systems are now getting a reboot. This is the opportunity that we have as we awaken, to the change and the shift that's taking place collectively, globally, all over the world. And the products within our range, so Tridosha is really a manifestation of everything that I teach. and how I look after my clients and, you know, my patients. And I wanted to expand that. So when this opportunity came to start to work with spas initially, you know, the first thing was really to look at actually the personal care and how can we integrate, you know, the medicinal herbs and support clients in that way. So initially it started off with the body oil, because, you know, most of the people going into the spas are actually going and having, you know, one of our Ayurvedic massages. And so the oils, it's an immediate way to actually be able to get the, you know, the quality ingredients into the body in a more relaxing way. And then being able to subtly educate through that process, because all the therapists that we train are, you know, trained to educate. But then as I've expanded the range, it's really interesting listening to the two other ladies as well, who also have developed product businesses around a passion and a health system, is that Ayurveda-based products, we can also increase that also into decoctions. So we have many wonderful herbs, medicinal herbs that traditionally have been used to exfoliate skin, to cleanse the body. And we know many of the Indian ingredients are used in cooking. So things like turmeric, which is super popular the world over now. I mean, I know in Whole Foods, you know, you can go into Whole Foods, you can get turmeric latte. And so really our extension of that is to start to be able to offer things like a turmeric shot, and really start to expand the range. So it is, you know, it's really a full circle, so that we can, you know, we have those growing products. And then, you know, really the approach to that is that also we're educating through the process, really helping people make that connection, that nature knows best. That actually there are tools, there are techniques. We can learn breathing techniques. We can go and have a regular treatment from a therapist. We can learn certain, you know, yoga asanas and yoga postures that are specific to our constitution, because it's all individual, you know, it's not one size fits all. But then on the product side, we can expand all of that knowledge and that understanding into things that are easy to integrate into our life, you know, from a self-care perspective. So I'm really excited about it. Certainly, certainly this is the time.
It's an amazing time. I'm familiar a little bit with India, and you know, there you can buy over-the-counter products without a doctor's prescription, especially such things as antibiotics, which in America, you got to go to a doctor to get an antibiotic, you know, for an infection or some kind of bacterial thing. And even our food is pretty safe here, but even in countries like India, where you get a bacteria that you have to shake and it's causing you all kinds of trauma, you know, to have to wait to see the doctor to get a bacterial or antibiotic, you know, that's a big deal. I mean, and, you know, America has to make some changes about that. And especially as we start to use the alternative treatment offers out there. You know, I mean, we have chronic ailments here, that if we find some solutions to chronic ailments such as arthritis, such as pain, you know, and things like that, or, you know, those are important aspects.
Well, we have many products, you know, you're talking about pain, and there's so many things that you can, I mean, turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory. So there's one ingredient already. We've got a natural jam called Chawanaprash, which is absolutely amazing on joints. It's good for the aging process. It's got so many nutrients in it. We have, even among younger consumers as well, there's traditional herbal ingredients that are going to benefit. We're seeing more digestive problems. We have a growing community of people who can't take traditional milks, or everything needs to be plant-based now. So there's such a shift that's taken place in our bodies over the last couple of decades. And that's not because we're being born differently. It's because our lifestyles have changed so much, and also our environments have changed so much, where we are being exposed to many different things. That's also in our food as well. So and also through social media, the constant interaction with social media is also having an impact on our health. There's growing stress levels. So America is quite unique in the sense that you have these very strict regimes. I mean, here in the UK, there are many herbal remedies that we can purchase over the counter. There's specific formulations that an individual would have to come specifically to me or someone like me to sign off. But there's still a very, very good number of formulations that you can buy directly. And in India, it's even more widely available. These things are not, there isn't a boundary between any of this. And also the information is passed on, in families. So these, what we consider these so-called secrets, are not secrets there. They're passed on through families and then onto mothers, fathers, children. I mean, you would have to tell me, I do wonder with America, you do need to make some changes, but I think your whole system is so controlled by the finances.
Yeah,
That's what I see. And I spoke a little bit about it in my book. Not to
you would think that during the pandemic, people were closed up. You would think that they would change, but I find that the pandemic has made people worse. They've actually started thinking about all the things that they could be doing, but some of us have changed.
One thing it's done, though, one thing it has done, it's brought people to the realization that, wow, I can't eat pizza 5 days out of the week and expect not to feel good, I mean, you really have to construct your eating habits in a way that you gotta eat friendly, or things that are comfortable and generous to your body's health. And, and you've got to manage that carefully, and if you're managing your food intake based on health, along with good exercise and finding solutions that give us better balance, then, all in all, you're going to find a great space.
So it's networking time. We have a chat. Make sure that you tell people where they can get the books from, Dina and Sunita. Make sure that we have the links. So if you would like to buy, and if you're watching online, I'll make sure the links are available in the comments section. So if you want to buy Dina's book, or you want to buy Sunita's book, or you want to buy a coaching session, or we've got Susie who's going to talk about investments at 1 o'clock. And thank you for coming in early. And so there's a lot of wealth of information. This is the Women History Month. We are celebrating women business empowerment. So very quickly, I'm going to ask everyone to just share, and I don't want to put you on a spot, but I wanted to just share the pandemic.
Okay.
What happened? Did it change? Did anything, any story, a funny story or anything, did it change you, or anything that you'd like to talk about? So I will open the floor to Trina. Trina, tell us about the pandemic and how has it affected your store, and what can we learn from it?
One more thing I'd like Trina to ask, because I was thinking about her too, in terms of the product line that she carries, the impact, because I mean, we probably have a litany of things that we need help with.
Yeah.
Let's take one, sleep. If you're not getting a good night's sleep, I mean, sleeping 7 to 8 hours and waking up forgetting your name. I mean, that the sleep is so deep that you wake up a new person, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So there are product lines out there, and especially with CBD, it is introducing all kinds of alternative solutions. So if you could, according to also what Claire was asking, and my request that way. Trina, please share.
Thank you, Elton. Sleep is one of our most popular and by far the most popular at the retail store. That's what everybody's coming for. And yeah, it's so interesting because how the stress interacts, right? Is it sleep? Is it the stress? Is which one comes first? And CBD, that's the amazing thing. No matter what you're coming for, stress, pain, anxiety, food, it's helping everything. It will help with all of it. So when everyone says like, oh, what are the side effects? Just amazing, amazing. So many. But we have a really, a big part of our line, it's all certified organic and vegan, but a big part of our line is looking at the different cannabinoids because CBD is the superstar right now, but it's not the only star. For instance, for sleep, CBN has just become, that's its superpower. It's amazing for sleep. It helps you fall asleep, makes you drowsy, and designed to keep you asleep in a deeper way for a longer time. It also works, pro tip, if you wake up in the night, a lot of people, that's their main issue, like me, 3, 4, 5, you take a little bit and you go right back to sleep. It's an amazing tool. It's fun to, especially in the retail store, because there's no interaction online as much, but in the store, you help everyone start building this new medicine cabinet, right? It's these new tools, ways to interact and take control of our own health. You might not need the sleep formula every night. You might not need the lotion that I love having if I wake up with a stiff neck or I just hurt my thumb. And it just is amazing, but it's cool to pull out these tools and educate. I agree. It's so much education on our part. That is how we love to sell. That's what's going to change the propaganda and make a difference and create that connection when there's something that happens when I tell everyone, they're saying that we should think of CBD more like a daily supplement. We all need about 55 milligrams a day, like a vitamin C, a magnesium, vitamin D. And it starts, you start thinking about it in a new way of making this consistent daily use, the way it's interacting with our body in so many levels in our nervous system. It's fun to be a part of this revolution where this is the premier solution and using these natural products. Get there.
I do that. And another thing that we're going to be working a lot with Trina is alliances. So we're hoping that some of you will launch your books in Manhattan in the store and we can do some promotions. I'm also talking to some mattress people because a lot of sleep products connect very well with this sleep product. So if you're watching this video and just make sure you consult your doctor. We're giving you cutting edge information and that you watch this and just write us a comment and we'll give you 2 free tickets. So moving along, I see my Colonel Donna Four. She has fought 4 wars, maybe 3, and a survivor of the Pentagon during 9/11. A real warrior. I really think she is a warrior. And, sometimes when you think you could just retire and not do anything, but she continues on to do community work. She's actually working with the veterans in Virginia, and I think they're hosting an event on April 9th, and she will be talking to you a little bit about that in just a minute, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I also have a wonderful author, and she actually has a workbook. So I'm interested in doing a workshop with her. And she is Julie Fitzgerald. And she has a beautiful book about faith to rise. And I really love the book. And it comes in 2 parts. There's a book and then there's a little journal that you can, I've already started writing in it. You can journal with it as well. So she'll be coming up to talk to you a little bit more about those books as well. So welcome everybody. But right now we have, I think before we get to 1 o'clock, we just have a few minutes. So anyone wants to share a pandemic story or an experience with us? Anyone? Lisa, you want to tell us a pandemic story? Okay.
So
All
many
right.
people have told us, just using CBD more, it's so much stress and anxiety this whole time. And it's interesting to see because it really works. It does.
Mhm. Yeah.
The edge off, and just
Yeah.
creates more.
That's true. That's very true, because you get so anxiety and stress. I mean, I know we all want to talk about the Oscars, but we have to be very careful how we say it until the Academy decides what the determination is. So no one's making any comments, but anxiety and stress can lead to a lot of things, and you really need to have that under control. So go see Trina, go to her store. Where's the store in Manhattan?
Madison Avenue, right?
Yeah, right on Madison Avenue on 48th Street,
Yep.
between 47th.
That's
So
around the corner from 42nd and the train station.
okay, there we
Yeah,
go. It's the man of the hour. We're waiting for Ernest. Okay,
All right.
awesome. So it's exactly 1 o'clock on the dot, and I would like to bring in two of my next round of speakers. And please stay. We have a packed day. We have three webinars and workshops, and this is the first time we're actually doing these workshops, and they'll be available on demand as well. So we really want you to stay and learn and grow. And very quickly, so Lisa's going to be doing the power of connections. We cannot be in business without connections. And so it's a powerful session. Reginald has money to give away, so he's going to talk about business financing and credit repair. And then Donna is going to do life insurance, which is very, very important as well. But she's going to talk about it more in context with business planning. And as a business owner, how can your legacy continue on after you pass away? So it's very important. We're all building all these businesses, and we need to have a legacy. You don't want to just, give it up. So you want to pass it on. So it's very important. And so Susie, where are you? There we go. So let's keep time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop recording.